You get 6 months for free.
6 months for free. You could watch Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus. Watch it today. Hello and welcome. My name is J.E. and with me today is my good old friend, Alexander Gonzalez.
Hello.
And please remember that we are not game devs. How are you doing today, Alex?
I'm doing pretty good, Jay. How about you? I was able to find... Oh, and on top of that, I guess I should show you. On my quest at Target, where there was a recent restock of Pokemon cards, I was able to get the 25th anniversary. So I got the newest month this month. So
Oh, is
the
that the
search
jumbo
continues. Yes.
cards you're talking about?
Yep.
I haven't seen them at all, but last time I was at Target, I was in the middle of nowhere. Like literally, I was in the middle of nowhere. I think this town had the population of like 1,000 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the Target, and I went to the trading card aisle because I was like, you know what? Alex just told me about these Pokemon cards. Let me see if they're here. Sold out. I saw where they're supposed to be. Like this is giant ass
And
box.
sometimes the boxes are even overturned.
Oh, they weren't here, but it was 2 rows of them. And it was just like one little box thing, and I could obviously tell that they're jumbo cards because it's like wider than a fucking DVD. Like these things are pretty spacious, and I'm like, there's only room for like maybe 8 in one of these little boxes.
And people buy them out, and then you can't get them anymore.
Yeah, but I was like, surely they should have a few here at the smallest Target on Earth. It actually wasn't a small Target. This Target was fucking gigantic. But it's like that sometimes. You go to a little town, they have the biggest fucking Target ever. What is that? And why does that happen? It happened where I lived twice.
I think maybe because it can serve the community better. But I was able to buy a box set of one of my favorites, which is Blastoise. I got Blastoise VMAX, so I'm happy about that.
What is
and
VMAX
they also have a Venusaur VMAX that if I see it, I'll probably get it next paycheck or something.
What does VMAX mean?
It's like Gmax, but they call it VMAX for some reason.
What's
Gmax? Gigantamax.
So like for instance, it to Gmax.
Yeah, I'll show you. So you remember like one of the more popular ones is we're just getting into it, aren't we?
I guess so.
So this should be a Gmax Blastoise, but this is saying VMAX instead.
Interesting. But those are not the targets, Pokemon, or cards we're talking about today. Today, we are creating something new. Every week, we are not game devs who create a new, exciting video game idea that we have always wanted to play, but do not have any knowledge or know-how to create the wonderful experience that are video games. Today is my turn to present We Are Not Game Devs 167th IP. Now, this could go either really, really poorly or really, really well, because all I have for you is the concept, and it's not even much of one. So we'll see how this turns out.
All right.
I just want a game where literally all you have as weapons are throwing projectiles, as in like throwing stars, daggers, shit like that, hatchets and shit, and or explosives. That's as far as I got with this. I got inspired just thinking, like I was listening to a podcast about Halo and they were talking about like custom multiplayer modes that they would do. And I remembered harking back to my GoldenEye days where this was a mode, explosives and knives. And that's all you had. Just rocket launchers and knives.
Why don't we make a mobile game that has free for all and battle royale, where it's only explosives and knives and javelins and stuff.
Okay.
And people can land in and they can be like these little chibi characters and move around and then pick up and use these things, or, make it free to play on mobile and Switch.
I mean, I think this can go everywhere. Game Pass.
That's true.
Mobile, Switch, Steam.
Absolutely.
Even PlayStation will pick it up. Like they have random ass indie games like this. But I think, primarily let's just say this is like mainly advertised as like Apple Arcade's next big game type of thing. But it's coming out everywhere as Apple Arcade's games normally do, where it launches first on Apple Arcade and goes everywhere else. But okay, I like it. I was thinking this would be a little bit more story driven. But hey, I gave you nothing, so let's go with multiplayer.
I was just thinking because what it sounds like to me is that the concept of this game is throwing stuff, and we want to make the throwing stuff as fun as possible because it's really satisfying throwing a knife and then seeing it hit somebody and kill them in one hit, or throwing a grenade right under their feet and then blowing up. So I want to get to that part of the game as fast as possible.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Now,
We can even make it where we can make it a hero shooter even and have unique heroes throw unique things.
that is true. Like we could actually flesh this out even more and make it
If you
something
want to
more
add lore.
serious. Like
Yeah.
if you let me throw this, like keep the hero shooter idea there. Obviously, if we do this, it's no longer a mobile Switch thing, but keep that idea, but add this to it where the explosives don't do damage. They just stun and blow up specific environmental pieces. And the reasoning to do this is to blow up certain things, expose or stun or make characters fall from a ledge because you just blew it up. And that is your moment to throw your knife or whatever to kill them. Of course, you could kill them just running around and stuff, but then they're
So
like,
we're gonna have special grenades that probably, I'll say this, eat different matter that isn't alive and pushes out matter that is alive and does a little bit of damage. So instead of it being a traditional grenade, it'll be something that you throw and then it's almost like a black hole that'll suck things in and then maybe it spits out players that are alive. So instead of it doing a lot of damage, it stuns them by sucking them in and then it spits them out because it doesn't want to eat them.
okay, how about this? We do the hero shooter idea, and that is one of the characters. One of the heroes is like this portal type character that could like make portals and make things come out of it. And yeah, their grenade launcher, quote unquote, is like a black hole launcher where it makes a black hole, sucks out one of the elements, and then maybe you hop out of it. And then you like maybe
I
they're
was
like
thinking that'd be another power is that you could throw a grenade that activates a portal and then you can throw another portal somewhere else. And it's
or
activated for a
like you
couple
could
seconds. Or shoot other
I'm
things
thinking
through
it'd
it.
be kind of like, yeah, you have teammates throw their knives or explosives through it, or they jump through it as well, uh, and it's more like a portal in between it, or you could jump through it, but it's maybe only one person could jump through. Um, and I like the idea if that's the case, and your character decides to jump through this hero that has this void black hole power, uh, maybe he or she, I for some reason in my head it's a she, their melee weapon is more of like a close range style melee weapon, like a sword or something. And so you get in close and then you hit them with the sword when you jump through the portal.
Okay, I like that. And it would encourage more of the bomb thrower people to stay out of the portal and shoot into it
Like the
instead.
more, yeah, long range. Like maybe there is a character that is like a ninja and they only have throwing stars and like
I think you could
sticky
do
grenades or
all
something.
kinds of shit. I think there's another guy who
Or smoke grenades and shuriken. Anyway, continue.
yeah, smoke grenades and shuriken. And then another guy who plants seeds, and then different seeds sprout different plants that do different things. So there's a plant that poisons, a plant that's like a redwood that like grows big and uproots the cover, and then maybe there's another one that's like its old is a carnivorous plant that attacks people nearby.
I mean, I like where you're going with it, but those aren't explosives or knives.
What if it's a seed that blows up and sends thorns everywhere?
Yeah, that's fine.
And then there's another one that covers people in like pollen so that they run slower and it
Like a
leaves
bomb
footprints.
type of
Yeah.
thing, like a sticky bomb, or like a
Hmm.
bomb that actually explodes sticky stuff, not like a bomb that sticks to things.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Also, there has to be the more traditional army military guy who has like the frag grenade, and then like maybe like an army knife or something, and then that could be used as either a melee and or throwing knife,
A
depending on the
doctor
situation.
that uses needles and throws maybe sutures, or they could throw all kinds of sharp stuff that they use.
Well, I was thinking their bombs would just be like, kind of like how Baptiste works, where they either heal or damage depending on who's in the cloud. And it could be like a gas, like a healing / poison gas that benefits your healer or your team, but hurts the other team. And then yeah, like
Okay.
a syringe that you could heal your teammates with, or hurt other teammates with.
Some kind of voodoo person or some kind of magician that
Well,
throws
I
an
thought the voodoo
egg.
person would be the person you were talking about earlier, where they had like the sticky bomb, and then probably like a throwing javelin, or like a
Oh,
javelin that you could use melee wise.
okay. And then another person who throws in a spider egg and it erupts in spiders doing dot damage. And then theirs would be like, oh, what if theirs was a blow dart?
That'd be interesting. Yeah. Um, there also has to be like your traditional grenader that has like the bazooka, like the rocket launcher, and
Yeah.
then theirs is like, I don't know, a great axe, like something actually just insane. Um, maybe we just steal a little bit more from Overwatch and maybe make that like a roadhog anchor hook thing, and you could like actually bring people in close and then smack them with it,
Oh, that would work. I mean,
with
yeah.
like a
And it's
giant
not just
bazooka.
Roadhog. There's been Pudge. There's been everybody does the grappling hook. What if we
That's
just make
true.
it a grappling hook instead?
I was thinking like you know those like hooks
What if we
that
rip off
they use in like
Overwatch
spy
and
movies.
Nintendo at once and make it whatchamacallit? Link's weapon. What's it called?
It's called grappling hook.
Yeah, the grappling
Or
hook.
the
We
hook
just
shot.
take
The hook
the
shot.
hook shot, yeah.
Yeah, either I mean, like I'm assuming with a hero shooter, it going to have skin. So like it could be anything really. It could be an anchor, it could be a
Mm-hmm,
fish hook,
mm-hmm.
whatever the skin goes for.
Then
You
I
know what I
want
mean?
another one to be I want another one to be a steal from Samus where it's a rolling ball, almost like Hammond, but then it drops little smaller rolling balls that are the explosives, and then it covers itself in spikes and then tries to run over people.
Also has a plasma sword.
Okay, it sounds really OP.
Well, I think the melee weapons all do very regular damage. It's just like length, and then maybe like alternate ability that's a melee based ability. You know what I mean? That's on a cooldown type of thing. And then that's the only way to do basic melee attacks, which I think is the goal of the combat.
Maybe one should be a Gundam with
I
the
was thinking
plasma
the
sword, beam sword.
Metroid like Samus character would be kind of more of like a mecha suit type of thing, more in the
Okay.
terms of like what's called Evangelion type
Okay,
suits,
yeah,
where
yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
like more slim suits that give you heightened abilities. Um, Maybe we'll also have a character. I'm thinking more sci-fi with this one, where well, we also have that black hole person, but maybe the black hole person is like kind of like viewed as a good character. You know how in Overwatch there's
Quote
Overwatch and then
unquote.
there's Deathwatch.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
there's like the same type of story going on in this hero shooter, or like in Apex, there's like bad guys and more good guys and more morally gray guys. But in this one, the black hole person's kind of more on the morally good side, but then their opposite that's in the lore of the game would be a nuclear mad scientist who's discovered how to make miniature nuclear
Rick
explosions.
Sanchez, basically. Is
Huh?
that what you're talking about? Rick Sanchez?
Oh yeah,
From
kinda. But I think like we'll have like them throwing like mushroom clouds all over the map and stuff.
Okay.
Um, and then their weapon, their melee weapon, I don't know what it would be. Uh, we need more like throwing knives in this. Maybe it's like a. I actually don't know what their melee weapon would be. What would
For
a
who?
black or a nuclear mad scientist use as a melee weapon?
An X-Acto knife.
Like a scalpel? Oh, like a box cutter?
Yeah, it's not almost like a box cutter. Have you ever used like an X-Acto knife, like when you're doing modeling or something to cut off the nibs? It's like a very sharp triangular knife with like a nice handle.
No. Anyway,
Okay.
sure, we'll give it to him. But I do want, like I said, we did go a little crazy with the heroes and explosives, but I
It
do
just
want,
shows that our idea is proven. That it
but
will work.
it does have to still fit in with, because I kind of like the idea of the environmental destruction where like yeah you blow up, and some of them I guess their bombs would interact differently because they obviously aren't straight up explosions with the environment, where it affects certain areas that it'll be obvious to the player. We like paint them in like yellow or orange or something, and that's like a blow upable environment piece. And if you use your bomb, depending, maybe we'll have a few different bomb effects. Like one is like a big blast, a small blast, or a alternative blast, like a corrosion poison. Because I think most of the weird ones we could just boil down to them being like a corrosive effect, you know, like the
Hmm.
spider bomb, or like the poison bomb or the sticky bomb. And if you use that instead, the environment will work differently rather than a small blast or a big blast, where a big blast would just destroy it completely. Small blast would delete chunks of it at a time. I don't know what the alternate bomb would do. And maybe it doesn't do anything. Maybe the effects are so good that it doesn't actually blow stuff up.
So there's all kinds of ways we can go with this. So now, is it going to be first person or third person as we're doing all this?
First person.
Okay, so it's gonna then it's you can say it's gonna look good.
I think the art style is going to be close to like Overwatch or like Valorant, where it has a cartoony look, but I wouldn't say it looks bad. No, I think it's a
No,
good
I say
looking
it's gonna
game.
look really good.
Yeah, lots of cool explosion effects and stuff like that. I think there's going to be a lot of particle effects going off everywhere. I think when you destroy the destructible environments, it's going to look like, you know how there's like game showcases where shows like as you shoot this character their armor flies off, like individual pieces will come off, like Horizon
Hmm.
Zero Dawn, where like as you hit it, where you hit it affects how it looks because you're destroying certain pieces off. I think
Yeah,
it's going
yeah,
to be
yeah.
like that, where like environmental destruction is going to be very realistic in that sense. um but yeah, I think it is going to look very good. In terms of like, let's just go straight into pricing and how much, what's the plan for this? Is this a $70 game with loot boxes like Overwatch? Is it free to play with a battle pass? What are we looking at here?
I prefer it being full pop and then you never have to pay for it again. That's
So
how
more of like
I
a loot
prefer it.
box
Yeah, and then
situation?
hmm
Or do you want it to be how some games are now, where it has a, you could earn everything just by playing a shit ton. But if you do pay every season for the battle pass, you'll get better rewards that speed up getting everything. But then you could only get in certain things through the paid battle pass type of thing. Or do you want it strictly like Overwatch loot box style?
I don't mind the battle pass idea because it gives you incentive to play more, so to say. In the loot box, you can kind of get lost in the sauce where it stops becoming fun
Yeah.
to do
Do you
that.
think if we go the battle pass route, wouldn't it look poorly that we charged full pop for the game? Maybe it'd be more like a $40 game with the battle pass.
Maybe we shouldn't then. Maybe we should just let it go free to play. Let everybody in. Yeah, let's go free to play. Let's let everybody in.
Sure, and then we'll have a very active battle pass. We'll live or die. If this fails, we'll know within the first week.
Yeah, but I mean, anyways, if people buy the game and then nobody's around to play it or there is no install base, we're fucked anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. Then let's talk about let's go back to actually making more of the game. What is the general gameplay like? What are you actually doing? Is this a Valorant battle royale or battle deathmatch type of situation, or is it
I'd
objective
say
based like Overwatch?
I think you can do deathmatch, free for all.
Like it's definitely more of like a Unreal style arcadey shooter, right? Like it's definitely not like objective based where you're trying to defend anything. It's not even like capture the zones, like have 3 zones and then having more zones, you get more points.
Yeah,
It's just literal spawn point A, spawn point B, and then you just go at each other type of thing.
yeah. So I think free for all, team deathmatch, arenas, 2v2, 3v3, 5v5.
And do you think the destructible environments they reset after a certain amount of time, like they build back together, like digitize back to life, or will the eventually at the end of the map it's gonna look just complete like everything's just blown up to bits,
It'll all digitize, but there we'll have a game mode where it doesn't.
like just complete destruction?
Yes.
Okay, I like it. I like it. So like ranked mode, they'll digitize every, let's say like 25 seconds after it gets destroyed, it'll start coming back together. But
After every match, it comes back together. So
oh, you
like,
think it's just gonna come back? I was saying that it'll come back again, so you could use that cover the next respawn, like it would be back by
nope.
then,
I think it'd be destroyed for that whole match.
destroyed for the whole round. Got
Yeah,
it.
that way people focus on a character that actually changes things, and they could have cool cover or spots that they could use that way.
Yeah, yeah. And I think we could make a creative way to destroy environments where if you do destroy certain areas, it actually unlocks another fighting area to fight in. And maybe like in certain maps, we'll even rotate that around where like maybe you're playing on like a army base and there's like secret bunkers around, but each map it's random where the bunker is, so it's not in the same door every single time. It moves between like 3 different possible areas or something,
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a good idea.
and we'll have like a fun little hidden area like that in every map, maybe 2 if it's like 2 small ones. And all it does, there's no extra items or anything, it's just more places to jump around and play around. And maybe if there's so many destructed cover in the original fighting area, this the end game happens in this smaller area type of thing because there's more cover there.
Definitely. That's shaping up to be a cool game. What setting is this game in? Like, what's it look like? We know the aesthetic, but we don't know the background. Like, is these like
Right.
DC hero wannabes, or is it gritty like Watchmen?
Maybe it's just like a fantastic version of an alternate history that's just the world that's just been in all out warfare for years and years and years. No one remembers what they're fighting about. They're just fighting now. And all the weapons that are left are just melee weapons and just a giant explosive. There's just explosives lying around and people still making explosives, but no one's actually making guns anymore just because they have so many explosives, and explosives are more effective. So why not just have explosives? I don't know. Something ridiculous like that. So it's like a
The atmosphere changed
post-apocalyptic.
forever. So like bullets couldn't travel through the air, but knives could, and explosives work differently.
Yeah, something. I don't know. Um, maybe they just lost the art where at like to make bullets and stuff, but they've always just known how to make things go boom and how to make gunpowder explode. I don't know, something dumb.
Because I was thinking about that explosions just work differently here, but like even if they do, what will we make them bigger? Like, is it because combusting is just too dangerous now? This also makes me want to have like a fireworks character.
Mm, mm. I mean, I just think maybe they just like to blow stuff up. It's just a world that likes explosives.
Oh, like
And
Mad Max,
sure, yeah, I guess, yeah. But
right? They're
just
just
like,
fucking crazy. I mean, they don't have water, but
yeah.
we made an episode where there was already too much water. We can't make an episode where there's not enough.
But I think it's just post-apocalyptic. Maybe add a little bit of humor in there. Um, I feel like it's a little bit soulless, but maybe we'll make the characters lovable enough where you just like really like them. Like the characters themselves, I think, will just be really likable, have a lot of sense of humor, just really
Right?
sarcastic.
Because I mean, what other? I think we can make it work.
I mean, like if you think about it, Apex Legends is pretty fucking gruesome. The story is that to appease the population, they show the Apex games where these people just go in and start killing each other, and they celebrate it. And there's like celebrities and stuff, and those are the legends, you know.
No, yeah. So I think it's totally possible. Like
Yeah,
we can make this work.
but music wise, if we're going with these big explosions and post-apocalyptic crazy people using their knives and blowing stuff up, I hear just like fun rock. Like it could span between multiple rock genres, but I hear mostly just like, I don't know,
What if? Yeah. Now
just
I'm trying to
classic
think of
rock to
like
pop
some.
punk.
Yeah, like something that's really really catchy though, like how it is for Persona or Guilty Gear or
Yeah,
you
I
know how
definitely
like
hear more of like a pop punk, pop rock kind of sound, not so much
yeah
like
yeah
anything super technical. Just
yeah.
really
Okay
catchy rock riffs
yeah
and
yeah
like
yeah.
maybe have very minimal lyrics. I don't even know if there would be lyrics, but I don't know.
No,
But
I'm down with it. I'm down with
completely
it.
original soundtrack. Let's do it. All right, Alex. It's time to start your timer because it's time to name this game.
All right, and let's begin.
What was this game mode called? It was called like Rockets and Knives or something like that.
That's not a good enough name.
Bombs and Daggers,
Blades and bombs.
Blades and Bombs,
Bombs and blades.
Bombs and Blades, Bombs and Blades, Bombs. I'm trying to think like BBB. I don't know.
Bl-
Yeah, Bombs and
Bombs,
Blades.
blades, and blood.
Bombs, Blades, and I don't know. Let's just stick with Bombs and Blades.
Bombs and Blades in 1 minute exactly. Bombs and Blades is a first person hero shooter where there is a universe where they only discovered how to use bombs and blades and they fight in constant warfare because there wasn't enough time to discover other weapons. So choose with various bombs and blades with completely destructible environments, an arena, free for all, team deathmatch, and more.
All right. So, I think we have a game here, Alex. What do you think? Would this be a game you want to play? And is it fun?
Oh yeah, totally. I like arena shooters. I think they're a great time. I would really like it. I think it would be um, a fun experience. Especially, I just like. I love like the kind of like it's almost like chess where you're using different heroes and different power ups and trying to figure out what works best. And this would be more aiming based, but not in the same way that it is for Twitch. So I think it would be a slower kind of combat that I would really enjoy. How about you, Jay?
Yeah, I think I would really dig it. I would just have to find the one character I really like. Like, I would be terrible at the Junkrat like characters where it's like an arc that you have to shoot stuff in. Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
if there
yeah.
was a character that just did a grenade launcher and javelins, and you always had to just fucking arc it? I would never
Just
play as that character
boom, boom,
ever,
boom. Try to, yeah.
just because like I'm bad at that kind of trajectile prediction. I'm bad at arches, physics. I'm bad at physics. But if I found a character that I just really just loved and really understood how to play, yeah, I could
Yeah, just
definitely see
jive with.
myself getting into it. Yeah. All right. Now that we have a complete game, what game studio would you assign to be able to make Bombs and Blades the best?
I'm thinking Dreambox Studios, right? The people behind Borderlands. No,
Borderlands? You mean Gearbox?
Gearbox Studios. Yeah, excuse me.
Drinkbox is I want to say the guys who did like Severed and stuff like that. Guacamelee,
Oh,
I
okay.
think.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry for the confusion. So Gearbox Studios, they did Battleborn and that flopped unfortunately. So I feel like this is their opportunity to kind of
Yeah.
reclaim glory, and they need one right now. You know
Yeah. I'll go with Supergiant. We got
that.
Hades, but specifically Pyre.
Oh my god!
They
And could you imagine releasing this game right now, where Blizzard Activision's going through all that shit, and
yeah,
then you release another game as an alternative, and it comes from the people who made Hades and everything, so everyone loves them already.
right. And they're really good at like Bastion, they had really crazy weapon sets and stuff like that you could
They
find.
did.
A lot of them were projectile like exploding things, so they I think they could do something really cool with it.
Oh no,
Um
absolutely, absolutely.
Also, I would think, I mean, obviously, Double Fine could do something interesting with this. And Ubisoft.
The characters look ugly. Ubisoft needs a hero shooter. Double Fine characters never look like, I don't think, aesthetically pleasing.
I like
Does
the
that
look
mean?
of Broken Age, even if it was a little bit different. But I know exactly what you mean. Like Psychonauts looked always kind of funny.
Yeah,
Uh,
like a Cartoon Network cartoon,
right.
or
And
like the kids of Hey Arnold. We're
with
like, what the?
that,
I'm just
167th
sitting there
IP
making fun of all these fucking shows. Okay, go ahead.
has gone gold. We hope you look forward to this experience that'll probably never release. You can go right to appboundgames@gmail.com if you have anything to patch in the game we created today. Also, give us feedback. We're still learning how to make the show better, and your feedback really helps. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to back our ideas, please head over to patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early, meaning I keep doing the make this happen one now. And an extra podcast at the beginning, which cut the tail end of our conversation at the beginning of this episode. That's patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. If you like the show, why not subscribe and give us all the stars on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, Spotify, YouTube, and more. And if they ask for a review, instead of reviewing our show, become your inner game critic and review Bombs and Blades, the video game we just created. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next Friday with another new IP. Again, my name's J.E.
And my name's Alex Gonzalez.
Thank you, and please remember that we are not game devs.
I don't know. You know what I'm talking about though? In Hey Arnold, where there was like football head, I was like, "Look at you, Helga! Like, look at your overbite." I'm just saying, like,
That is true. That is true. And in Rugrats, I always thought the shape of Tommy's head was just unnatural, man.
I just didn't like how I could see their hair pores when there weren't hairs in them. You know, like, why draw in pores, illustrators? The
Yeah.
fuck are you doing?
And I was always terrified of Cat Dog. I thought that was an
I got
abomination.
it was a creature against the laws of nature, and then they had that fucking rat Winslow that
Yeah,
came out with a New York accent and a really ugly face.
terrible, terrible.
And then fucking Rocco's Modern Life, same thing. Do you remember those green frogs?
I don't remember that show that well, but it was just a gross looking show in general. Fucking chicken and cow, or cow and chicken, or whatever it was called.
Oh my god, yeah. There
The
was an
weird ass beaver
era.
show. Even like Cartoon Network shit like Ed, Ed and Eddie, or like dude, I don't know. There's
I
so
always
many
wonder if
weird
that's just
shows.
like what it looks like when your animators are just on cocaine 24/7. Like that's the kind of animation you make.
Right.
Well, I love that. I love those shows. Ed, Ed and Eddie. Remember that?
I love Ed and Eddie.
Me too. Me too.
What
Dexter's
was
Lab was
that?
one of my
What was
favorites.
powdered milk? What is that? Why did they eat it? I didn't understand.
You can no. Powdered milk's really a thing. So
I
back
understand, but why was Ed, Ed and Eddie so obsessed with it?
I don't. Well, what about gravy? Remember,
I don't
Ed was
remember.
obsessed with gravy.
I remember that. I remember he was in love with chickens.
Chickens, gravy, and butter
Jawbreakers.
toast. And yes, I'm talking about the Ed that was stupid though.
I
Eddie
mean, they
was
all like jawbreakers. And their
that made
tongues,
me.
man. Why were they green and purple and so long?
And then there's that sexual tension between them and
The Gross Sisters or something like that?
the Kinker sisters or something
Canker Sisters. I think that's more right. Anyway,
that
this
lives
has
in a
gone
trailer
far
park.
enough.
Who knows if
Catch
any
us
of
next.
this will make it?
Well, let's just leave it all in. We'll have a show where we just talk about old school TV and how weird it was growing up with all that.